Hello, welcome back to my channel. I have a very interesting topic for you today. Today is gonna be a long video, so prepare your coffee, prepare your tea, and I'm gonna be talking about something quite personal. This is a topic that's been growing on me for quite a long time, and I feel it affects me and all of us in some way. And doesn't matter if you're a content creator or you occasionally post on Instagram, we all share the same experience of putting ourselves out there. Today, I will talk about how hard it is to be your authentic self, how difficult it can be to show up in an authentic way when online every small detail of your life, the way you sit, the way you speak, the way you move your hands, every little detail can be criticized. And this isn't about being dramatic. It's a real thing. Criticism is a big part of us being seen online because obviously not everyone is gonna like us. Obviously. That's normal, and internet plays by its own rules. So let's start with this. In real life, we're surrounded by fewer people. And of course, at school or at work, we may end up with some random people we don't share anything in common. But usually when you surround yourself with friends, you share similar values, political views, you have the same interests, or you became friends with someone because you love their sense of humor. That's normal, right? So in real life, we still will get some criticism, but it's a little bit different because it comes from people we feel comfortable with. We usually understand that they come with good intentions. And usually when we vibe with people, they vibe with us. So we are not being criticized every single moment in our life. Not every single detail of what we're doing is going to be criticized, because why would they be our friends if they don't like the way we walk, if they don't like the way we speak, if they don't like our accent, if they don't like our clothes? I may get a criticism for the pink light on my wall, and that's fair. I don't want everyone to like pink color, but I also like my friends to accept that I like pink color. You know where I'm going, right? But online, anyone can see you. And that's both beautiful and brutal. Anyone can click on your content and criticize you for anything, for not going to church, for having cringy jokes, for preferring cats over dogs. And believe me, this didn't happen to me, but it happened to my friend. Oof, ridiculous. Or even, seriously, for how you gesture with your hands. That's something that happened to me, and that's something that I took so seriously. It's almost making me laugh, but I was overthinking the criticism I was getting in YouTube comments about the way I use my hands when I speak. Ridiculous. So it may sound silly and it may sound like not a big deal, but actually the consequences of being constantly criticized for who you are, for how you live, for the way you speak, for all of those little things that make you you can be devastating. That's why I wanted to cover this topic today. Okay, so let's focus on my example. A couple of years ago, I remember I was getting some comments criticizing me for using my hands too much when I speak, which, fair enough, you don't have to like it, but this is how I express myself. So I took those negative comments to my heart, and I was trying to do everything I could, everything in my power, to sit still, to not move too much, to not have too much expression. But then I would hear that sometimes I would be speaking in a way that was too expressive, and some people didn't like it either. So I tried to balance my voice and to speak in a more organized and calm manner. But then sometimes I would hear that the way I speak is a little bit boring. So I was trying to put myself more in the middle, to make myself a little bit more vanilla. And then I would still get a criticism. I'm like, what? And this fear of criticism hit me so hard that I was overthinking, how should I sit in front of the camera, How should I move my body? What should be my body language? If I should be more expressive or not. But I wasn't coming from the place of what made me comfortable, what was showing me as an authentic self, but I was just thinking, how can I satisfy the biggest amount of people? But I film vlogs. So I wanted to be my authentic self, but I was putting others first, and I should be putting myself first, because the whole idea of vlogs was to express myself. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't pretending to be someone else. I was just putting myself in this more safe mode. So the safe mode actually made me feel so unsafe. That's ridiculous, but we'll touch on it later. I was putting myself in this safe mode where I would be very calm, and I would try to be, I think vanilla is the best description. I wouldn't say anything too controversial, even though I thought that was my opinion. I would not be too expressive. I would try also not to be too boring and too slow. So sometimes I would hear that I speak too fast, and I would correct it. Then I would hear that I speak too slowly. So I was trying to put myself in a safe zone. But the safe zone on the internet does not exist. There's no such a thing. By trying to be safe, I wasn't being my authentic self. And this is exactly what today's video is going to be about. It's about how difficult it is to show up on the internet as your authentic self and express yourself the way you feel like. And by being your authentic self, I don't mean that you can act like an asshole only because you're feeling that you want to do it. If you have a need to be mean to other people, maybe that should be a signal to start working on yourself and fix some of the issues, because it's not nice. You don't have to be a dick. You can be expressive, you can have a weird sense of humor, you can have political point of the view that you wish, but I don't see a need to be mean to people and aggressive and this kind of stuff. So I'm not enabling aggressive behaviors. No. I'm enabling being expressing yourself the way that it feels right to you. I've been going to a therapy for a long time. I can't remember exactly how long I've been in a therapy, but I think it's been over 2 years, probably close to 3 years. And it's changed my life. I talk about it very, very openly because I want to encourage anyone who is curious about starting a therapy to do it. Just remember that you need to find a therapist that you will vibe with. Maybe your first therapist is not going to be the best therapist for you, but just don't give up. So therapy helped me understand that I didn't know who I was. That in the process of becoming an adult person, I was conditioned to always think about other people first and put myself in the last position. So my goal in life, in interactions, was to always make sure that everyone is satisfied. So I needed to please others in conversations, in the way I was acting. And if someone was upset with me, clearly I did something wrong, which is not true. It's not always the case. Sometimes it can be a case, obviously, but I'm talking about moments when someone is not satisfied because we don't share the same sense of humor, or I live a different lifestyle. You have no idea how many people get upset and become mean because they don't like the way I live my life. Like, ridiculous, but it's true. So therapy helped me understand that I kept putting some masks, and I was hiding a lot of who I was. And I got so many masks on that at some point, I didn't know who I was. And it was a very difficult process to try to peel these masks off to find my real face. I love this metaphor, but it's so true. It's very graphic, but it's very, very true that I covered myself so much that I didn't know what was the core of me deep down. So I started doing a lot of new activities. I signed up to a lot of sport activities, new hobbies, and I was trying to find out what is it that I really truly enjoy doing. I found out that there's a lot of activities I don't like surfing or yoga. I hate yoga. I like aerial yoga, but any other type of yoga I don't like, and doesn't matter how trendy it's gonna be, I will never like it. So it's just not my thing. And I don't care if other people do it, but it took me a while to realize who I am, what's the lifestyle that works the best for me, what situations make me truly happy, what way of expression I like the most for myself. I am a very easily excited person, and I love to surround myself with people who are also very expressive, and I love to share the excitement, and I love to surround myself with people who are easy to read, because I struggle when someone doesn't tell me how they're feeling. I just start overthinking. It's my personal hell. If you don't tell me that you're happy, I will struggle with realizing that you're happy. I will just doubt it, and I will not truly believe it. Anyway, it took me forever to realize who I was, and then later I needed to start liking myself. I'm in a good place. I like myself. Sometimes I struggle a little bit, but overall I would say that I really, really enjoy being myself, and I like the person I am. And I don't want to sound cocky. It's not this. It's not being arrogant. It's very important to love yourself. And I'm finally in the place where I don't hate myself, where I actually love myself, and I still see some flosses. I still see a lot of things that I need to improve, work on, and that's absolutely fine. But overall, I like who I became. And that's a good starting point to realize that if I'm not doing anything bad to anyone else, there's no reason for me to worry about what others think about me and if they criticize me for who I really am. And to also realize that it's absolutely fine for them to not like us. That's absolutely fine, and that's none of our business, because the fact that they don't like us doesn't tell anyone anything about us. It has nothing to do with us. They just simply don't like us. That's a fact. That's it. It doesn't say that you're a bad person. It's just an information. They don't like you. It doesn't mean they don't like you, you're shit. No, nothing like this. But I always took things, and I still sometimes do. I have a tendency to take things personally, and that's something I'm still working on. I'm doing so much better. That's why I'm filming this video. So a little bit more than a year ago, I was still a person who, when criticized, would like to change who she is. So if I receive a little bit of a criticism, I'm thinking, how can I satisfy this person? What can I do to be more likable for this person? But by doing it, I will be less liked by other people who liked me better before. You see, it's just a never-ending cycle. But I really, really, really wanted everyone to like me. Why? I wasted so much time in my life. I accepted it. I'm not angry at myself for wasting this much time, but I'm so happy that I finally realized it was counterproductive. But when I was still in my difficult moments in life, I started hiding all the things that my close friends love about me. So my silly sense of humor, my weird, clumsy moments that make all my friends laugh, the weird little quirks that make me who I am. I have a lot of friends who share different opinions, but we love to discuss. I don't surround myself just with people who have exactly the same opinions about the same topics. I love to discuss with my friends, especially when we have a different point of the view. And sometimes they make me change my mind about some small little aspects, and sometimes they don't. And I love to agree on disagreeing, but it helps me to get somebody else's perspective, to understand where are other people coming from and understand their reasoning. So by saying that, I love to be surrounded by people who allow me to have my own opinion. But then on the internet, they don't have to allow me to have my opinion. They can disagree with it. That's absolutely fine. But I was scared to express myself in this way. And so by doing it, not only that I was harming myself because I was stopping myself from being the authentic version, but I was also preventing the people who would like me in the internet from finding me. Because if I'm not expressing myself the way I want to, I am gonna be attracting people who like the vanilla version of me, and not the people who would actually like the way I am, who would like the way that I'm just like moving my hands around and I feel a little bit Italian when I do it. it's cool. I love it. I actually love watching YouTubers who are more expressive. I find it more interesting. So by stopping all the fun things that make me special, and I'm talking about myself, but we are all special. Everyone is different. Everyone is unique, and that's beautiful. But if you will hide your uniqueness, how would the people who like this uniqueness that you have find you? It's not possible. So if you're building something on social media and you're hiding your funny self, or like if you're hiding your silly sense of humor, I love dad jokes. If I'm gonna be hiding my silly sense of humor, I will never attract the people who love this sense of humor. Instead, I will attract someone who loves the, not fake version of myself, but like a safe version of myself. And I don't want to be a safe version of myself. I want to be myself. Dot. And you know what? Recently I had a realization that made me both laugh a little bit and it made me a little bit sad at the same time, because I realized that a lot of things that I was criticized for are exactly the things that I like watching in other YouTubers. So expression, I love when people are expressive, and I was getting a little bit of criticism for that, and I tried to change it. I tried to be less expressive, but then I realized that I personally love watching people on YouTube who are more expressive, or cringy sense of humor. I love when people I watch are cringy sometimes. This is what I'm vibing with. So it made me sad that I like it when people do it, but I would stop myself from doing it because I'm not worthy, or I don't know. It's hard to explain for me now, but I'm happy I came to this conclusion. And I thought that I was doing something wrong, or I love when people rumble on YouTube. I love it. But then if I rumbled on YouTube and I would get criticized for it, I felt like a loser. And I felt like my content is the worst content in the world ever, ever. That everyone else, even people who have one view, I mean, the views don't really, it's not a good indicator, but even people who don't really get too much interest online are making better videos than me because I got one negative comment. That's not healthy. I also got a lot of criticism when I started sharing my journey with mental health, and when I started sharing my story, my recovery story, recovery from depression. And I thought, okay, maybe people just don't like this kind of topics. Maybe I'm not sharing it in the way it should be shared. Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe I should talk about something else. But then I also realized that I was watching so much content surrounding this kind of topics. I love watching self-growth content. I love watching people sharing their own personal stories about mental health, about recovering from depression, addictions, whatever it is. I love watching inspiring stories where people share what they went through, how they overcame stuff, and I love watching very personal content. But when someone criticizes me, I feel like my content deserves criticism, and my content, I don't know, even though it was the same genre, it was the same topics, I felt that when other people film about it, it's here, and my content was somewhere there. I can't really explain it to you too well. I hope you're getting what I mean. It's not good. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not good to always try to satisfy everybody's needs. And it's also absolutely fine that someone doesn't want to hear about your mental health. It's absolutely fine, because if someone is looking for entertainment on YouTube, and I do it too, guilty, guilty, not guilty, but if someone is trying to find something funny on YouTube, why would they want to watch your serious episode? They wouldn't enjoy it, right? That's absolutely fine. But it shouldn't stop you from creating the content you want to create. That was pretty personal. So now let's talk about the wider topic, and let's discuss the pressure of being perfect online. So as I said, at some point I came to the realization that no matter what I do, there will always be a person who will criticize me. There will always be someone who will criticize me, who will not like what I'm doing. If I speak carefully, they will say that I'm boring. If I speak confidently, they will say that I'm arrogant. If I'm humble, someone will say I'm fake. If I'm expressive, someone will say I'm trying too hard. There's always something, always something. There's no way to meet everybody's expectations. And I don't want to try anymore. Instead, I want to work on spending less emotional energy on pointless criticism. And I'm also working on accepting that people don't have to like me. In fact, they're allowed to dislike me, and that's absolutely fine. As long as they're not crossing the line and we're talking harassment or online hate, that's absolutely fine. But there's the thing. This pressure of always being perfect online is not just my struggle. It's a very big and important social problem. Let me give you some statistics that I found quite interesting. So these statistics are from 2023, or at least 2 of them. So beautymatter.com published that 72% of teenagers feel pressured to look perfect because of social media. So this is about the looks, but it applies to everything, not only the looks, but also the behavior. 45% of Gen Z users say social media makes them feel like they're not enough. This is by Statista.com. And I always felt like I wasn't enough. No matter what I did, I was never enough. And I will never be enough for some people, but I will be more than enough for others. For some people, even IRL, I'll never be a good friend, enough of a good friend. I'll never be good enough as a friend. That's what I wanted to say. But for some, I will be the best friend. I will be exactly the person they need. The thing is that we need to focus on catering to the people we care about and who are good for us, or catering to people. We need to love ourselves, and then we will attract the people who actually like us, and then you don't need to cater. You will be the best person for them. Or you will be the most entertaining YouTuber for them. Or you will be the coolest Instagram profile for them. Because they like who you are. Not because you're faking who you are or you are hiding who you really are. Because I feel I was never hiding, but I feel that I was putting those masks and I was just making myself more in the middle, more vanilla. There's another quite interesting statistics. It's from 2021 by Duff's Self-Esteem Project. It's also about the looks, but let me tell you how I see it. 80% of girls said filtered photos hurt their self-worth. So this is masking physically, and I was masking myself as a person, my character. Interesting, right? It feels that a lot of people are putting masks. And at the same time, there's a lot of people who rage bait and they're not scared of the criticism. That's also a very interesting topic. Maybe I'll dive into this topic one day because I find it fascinating that there are people on the other side of the spectrum. I'm here, I'm like, no, love me. And then there's other people who are like, hate me. That's something that blows my mind. I can't understand that. So when I said just now that I'm on this side of the spectrum when I'm, oh, love me, I'm not there anymore. I'm shifting towards, fine, you don't have to like me. It's also fine that it hurts me a little bit, but I will not spend my energy on overthinking this topic and trying to change myself. It's just an information. You don't like me. I'm a little bit hurt by that. I'm moving on with my life. That's it. But the thing is that we are pressured to be beautiful, clever, funny, but not too much of any of those. Not too much, my dear. We are pressured to have opinion on every single topic. But you better have the opinion I like. Otherwise, you're shit. We are pressured to be authentic, but only in the way that I accept and I like. If I think you're authentic and I'll let you know. Just change yourself. Make me feel comfortable. So you can see this is an impossible standard. It's really impossible. So it's better to just stop chasing this silly validation, especially online. We're chasing a validation of people who don't like us and who we don't even know. Why? Why? Well, I know my answers because I was programmed like this, but I don't need that anymore. It's not serving me well. All right, it's time to sum everything up. As you can see, you will never be everyone's cup of tea, and that's absolutely fine. I think the point of the video that I want to tell you is that we need to accept that there's going to be some people who will not like us, who will think we're cringe, who will think we are boring, who will think we are arrogant or weak. I don't know, whatever it is. That's absolutely fine for them to think so, but please don't let them stop you from being who you are. And try to find the ways to get to know yourself better. That's something that I really struggled with. I'm in a much better place, and I swear I can tell you that I feel so much happier right now when I know who I am, and then I'm staying true to myself. And I'm still a little bit nervous, especially when I'm filming new videos for this channel. I don't know if people are gonna like it or not, and I'm a little bit worried that I'm gonna get a lot of criticism. And I'm worried that, I don't know, I'm worried about being worried, honestly. But I'm still doing it. It's not gonna stop me because in my head, I'm still always thinking, hey, start filming, start filming, start filming. Try to build this channel. Don't be shy, post what you feel like represents you best. Be yourself, be silly, be weird, I don't know. Be whoever you are, because we are all special, we are all unique, and that's beautiful. I think it would be so boring if everyone is just whatever. And if everyone just wants to be put in the box that is created for them, Jesus Christ, I don't want to live in a world like this. Then why am I adding up to creating a world I don't want to live in? Time to change that. I will tell you, it's not always going to be easy. It will not. I've been filming, I kept filming content that I was criticized on my Polish channel, and I was getting a lot of hate. There's even groups online created to hate on me and say some nasty stuff. I don't check on those groups. I have no need for that. But I am proud of myself for sticking to who I am, and I still get a lot of comments of people who told me that my content has been helpful, that I motivated some people. I get a lot of amazing DMs on Instagram from people who truly enjoy my content. So I'm just waiting, because I changed my content. So I'm kind of in a transitioning era where a lot of people who liked my content before are hating on me, because a lot of comments were hateful, not just criticism. But then eventually I hope they will leave my channel, and then I will build a different audience. So that's gonna be fine, but the transitioning part is very difficult. And even when I started doing better with my mental health, I realized that I don't vibe with a lot of friends I had anymore, and I lost some friendships in a very calm way, but it was uncomfortable, it wasn't easy, but it led me to the place where I'm at, and I feel so much better, believe me. So sometimes getting somewhere good is gonna lead through an uncomfortable and even painful path. Yeah, it's not gonna be easy, but it's absolutely worth it. So if you're in a place right now where you're afraid to show up, afraid to be different, afraid to be you, remember one thing. I really love what I'm gonna tell you right now. Being yourself isn't a rebellion, it's bravery. And it's also the best gift you can give yourself, truly. All right, I think that's all for today. If this topic resonated with you, let me know in the comments. I'm really curious. I'm so excited about finally pushing this channel and posting more content here, but I'm also a little bit nervous. So if you like this video, give me a thumb up. This is also going to boost my confidence. As you can see, I still have a lot of work to do on myself. I managed to stop seeking so much external validation from others, and I value my own validation most, but I still need a little bit of validation every now and then. I'm not perfect, no one is perfect, and I'm not trying to pretend that I'm perfect. I'm just simply sharing my experience with you in hopes that maybe I'll inspire someone to work on yourself and becoming a nicer version of yourself, and just starting to live a nicer life, because my life has become so much better ever since I became more confident and I started liking myself, and when I stopped pretending and putting masks on my face. All right, I'm wishing you a lovely day and see you in the next episode. Bye!